Yep, question?
So you don't think that people's interest in science or ideas and that sort of thing can ever be not pragmatically oriented?
No, that's a good question. The question was, do you think that people's interest in science can be not pragmatically oriented? I actually don't think so, because I don't think that you would be interested in science if it wasn't pragmatically useful. You see, and that's exactly the point that I want to pursue in this lecture today. It's like, we are interested in things generally as a consequence of their perceived utility. You know, now the framework within which you determine utility is quite malleable. So for example, if you're suicidal, you might regard it, how sharp a knife is, as the primary object of interest. But generally speaking, you know, we would assume that, especially if you're a Darwinian thinker, that your primary interests are something like survival and reproduction. And you know, I don't think that's an unreasonable assumption. The terms are quite elastic, so you can throw a lot of motivations in them without, you know, without having to think that rigorously about it. But as a heuristic framework, it's not bad. So part of the reason that Jung believed that science was embedded in a dream, which was the alchemical dream fundamentally, was because he believed that the people who developed the symbolic precursors to science, and so those would be the alchemists. Newton was an alchemist, by the way. We're looking for something approximating the philosopher's stone, which was a material object which would grant its bearers eternal life and good health and wealth. And so the alchemists were the first people, in some sense, to posit that if you systematically investigated the transformations of the material world, which was regarded more or less as damned by the Catholic Church, that you could extract out information that would be of substantial benefit to the things I just described: health, wealth, and longevity. And so you might say, well, why are we pursuing science? Like, why are we motivated to do it? Why would you spend 10,000 hours looking through a microscope? It's a very weird thing to do. And the Jungian idea is, well, if you go right down to the base of the hierarchy of motivation, you're doing it to make the world a better place in some manner that's important to you. So you can't, science has to be nested inside a motivational structure, or no one would do it. Now, you know, you can think about that what you want, but it's not an argument that you can easily dismiss, because you have to account for why people are interested in science. You know, and if you say, well, it's because they want to build a career, that's fine, because it just nests inside the same argument anyways.